At number 5, the best offensive lineman in the country, Spencer Fano, the right tackle from Utah, who Dalton was a dominant run blocker in his true sophomore year.
Dominant run blocker. You want a powerful outside zone clinic. If Kyle Shanahan's watching, if Kevin O'Connell's watching, if Kevin Stefanski's watching, any of those Clint Kubiak, whoever, any of those outside zone coaches are watching, this is the tape you need to watch, because as dominant a run blocker, the most dominant run blocker that we have, and you still talk about a solid pass blocker too, 79.5 pass blocking grade. I think week 1 really dragged that down. I think he had some errors week 1, but 1 sack allowed the entire season, and this Utah offensive tackle duo, him and Caleb Lomu, with Devin Dampier now as their quarterback, an extremely athletic quarterback who was one of the best rushers in the country last year. This Utah run game could get to be a lot of fun this season, but it's because of this offensive line. It's because of Spencer Fano, one of the best maulers we have in college football. There's a lot of draft hype on him right now, and rightfully so. When he gets to the NFL, he's going to be one of these dominant outside zone blocking tackles. We'll see where he ends up if he stays at right tackle, if somebody puts him on the left side, but it reminds you a lot of 2 years ago when we had Talisa Fuaga, I think, dominating at Oregon State in the same style of offense. That's what you're getting with Spencer Fano, the same guy week in and week out who wants to put people on their back.
He was the highest graded tackle in America last year with a 92.7 PFF grade, 93.6 run blocking grade. That was over 3 points higher than any other tackle in college football. He was the second most valuable tackle in the Power 4. The only one who was above him was Kelvin Banks Jr., who was a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Pretty good pass blocker, too. He was a top 30 pass blocking grade in the Power 4 last year, the 79.5 mark. Now, will he play tackle in the NFL? Is probably more of a concern for his draft evaluation, but he's going to be a really good guard, even if it's kicking to guard, too. So there might be some length concerns there for Spencer Fano, but that won't be an issue until his NFL draft evaluation comes out. But Spencer Fano, in terms of how good he is as a college tackle, he is the best offensive lineman in the country right now.
All those teams that run that system, that outside zone, that Shanahan scheme, they're going to love him. They're going to give him A+ on their draft board, whether it's tackle or guard. It could be a similar even situation. I know it's a lower pick. Fano's probably going to go higher this guy, but I think about, you mentioned the guard switch, Dominic Puni, and the way that he played last year for the 49ers. I think even if he moved to guard, Fano would have a similar outcome where it's just this guy is so dominant in the trenches in that scheme. But look, I know we haven't talked a whole lot about him this summer, but we feeling a bounce back for Utah here? I'm kind of feeling it.
I like Devin Dampier a lot.
This offensive line, getting Devin Dampier. I know the surface level passing numbers with him don't look great, but it was not a great team he was playing with at New Mexico, and he still found a way to succeed. He was one of the best runners at the position. I kind of like the bounce back potential for Utah. You know, Kyle Whittingham's not going to want to go 5-7 2 years in a row, and a lot of that was because of the unstable quarterback situation, the Cam Rising suspense, and then Isaac Wilson and Brandon Rose and 9 other guys that they played at quarterback last year. You get Dampier in this running game going behind this offensive line, and we know that team can always play defense. I think we might be talking about Utah as a bit of a sleeper this year, when last year, I believe they came into the season as the Big 12 favorite, did they not? If I remember that right, they were the Big 12 favorite heading into the year on the betting odds. And now they're going to be possibly a little bit lower than that, maybe significantly lower than that. But I think there's a bounce back coming there in Utah.
Well, that's a spoiler right here, Dalton. But they're actually tied for second to win the conference.
Oh, okay, they're feeling it then. They're also feeling it. They're not even. They're not even buying 5-7 left. They're like, you know what, Utah's. I mean, they've got the winning reputation, right? Whether it was in the Pac-12. The Big 12 last year, obviously they struggled last year with the quarterback situation, but we know what Kyle Whittingham can do with this program, and what they have in the trenches with Fano and this offensive line and Lomu on the other side, it's dangerous.
That's an incredible offensive line. My number 2 offensive line in the country right now, Fano, Tanoa Togia, one of the best guards in America. Caleb Lomu, a lot of people think could be a first-round pick at left tackle, too. Yeah, they're loaded on the offensive line. Utah plus 600 to win the Big 12 according to FanDuel. The only one above them was Kansas State at plus 550 right now. So Utah is seen as one of the top Big 12 contenders next year.
It is still like it was last year. It is still wide open in the Big 12.
Yes.
ASU obviously coming back as the champions. K-State's always good. Utah's always good, except last year, right? There's some other teams, TCU and Baylor. A lot of teams are looking at as dark horses. Texas Tech is a boatload of talent, but I think we can't forget about Utah in this race. It's going to be a lot of fun in the Big 12 this year again.
So I'm just looking at the betting odds for every other conference. So the betting favorite for the Big 12 is plus 550, so 5.5 to 1 odds. The next closest, or next furthest odds for the betting favorite for any other conference is James Madison, the Sun Belt, at plus 320. So that just shows how wide open the Big 12 is. That the favorite is 5.5 to 1. Every other conference is as like a 3.2 to 1 or lower.
And I love that. Did you see the Big 12? They got rid of their preseason poll, the preseason rankings.
How bad they got burned by Arizona State last year.
Arizona State was picked dead. I think it was the 4 teams that tied for first place at the end of the year. It was something like they were preseason ranked like 6, 11, 13, and 16 or something like that. It's just wide open, and I think, look, they're embracing that. I'm all for it. Just let it be wide open. Let the games play it out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we got a race all the way down to the last week, down to the wire last year in the Big 12, and then obviously Arizona State took over in the title game. But man, oh man, I don't know if we'll get another 4-way tie, but the Big 12 is wide open. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, Spencer Fano, that comes in here at number 5, the right tackle for Utah, the best run blocker in college football going into next year. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.